Hi everyone, Tommy here again, and today we are going to talk about something different. Today I'm going to talk about how I decided to pick up my YouTube channel again and bring it back to life. So growing up, I used to stand in front of a mirror and then I'll make presentations, like just a presentation from the beginning to the end. And all I'm talking about, so I'll pick a topic and I'll introduce myself to the audience. I'll tell them what I was going to talk about and all of those things. And it was just the audience of one. It was just me talking to myself in a mirror. So I knew I enjoyed talking about topics that I know and just basically passing information across. But there was a problem. I am a shy person. I am very shy. Like, I find it difficult to stand in front of a large crowd and then tell them what I have to say. But I enjoy the act of making presentations. It's an irony, I get that, but I'll just stand there and talk. Sometimes when I'm walking alone on the road, I'll just talk. I'll just make a presentation. I'll just talk about any topic that comes to mind, but I never got the courage to actually do anything about it. So one day I thought about it. That so if I cannot face people to say what I have to say, then I might as well write down what I have to say. So I started a blog, and if you read my blog, you realize that it's not the writings of a professional writer. It's more of a storyteller. It was just me bringing the stories in my head and writing them down, and that was what my blog was all about. It was my stories. They were my stories that I wrote down in a blog and published. And I just need to also say that most of these stories ended up in my draft. Some of them never got published because I was so I just didn't believe that anything I had to say made sense. So that's it. So the blog started. It was anonymous, and that's because I felt that what I was writing about didn't make sense, and I didn't want people that knew me to know that I was writing things that didn't make sense, really. So it was anonymous. I didn't tell anybody I had that blog. But over time, I started to post about the blog, and people started to read. Like sometimes I'll drop by, read. I'll write stories, and in episodes I just keep it was just fun until I stopped. So sometimes last year, that was the end of last year, a friend of mine posted something on his WhatsApp status that caught my attention. What did he write? He said it was a joke, but I'll tell you what I picked from what he wrote on his status. He said this. He said, if at this time there is nobody writing about how you've affected their lives positively in this year, just know that this year you have not done anything. So that might have been a joke, but to me, I started to ask myself that what exactly is my life all about? Because I know that my life is beyond what it is right now. I know that there's a reason why God has kept me alive till today, and I have to do something about it. So what I did then at the end of last year was to pray. And I said, God, in this new year, I want you to direct me in the path you have me go. I want you to give me an opportunity to share whatever gifts that I have with the world. I want to actually make a positive impact, even if it is in the life of one person. I want to do that this year. I want my life to be beyond me, because I know that there's a reason why you have put me in this position. There's a reason why I am here at a time like this, just like the story of Esther. That there's a reason why Esther was at that particular position at that particular point in time. And if you are there and you refuse to do what God would have you do in that particular position, trust me, God is going to raise another person in your place to still do that particular purpose, that particular assignment that He has given to you. And that is how I picked up my YouTube channel again. And I told myself that whatever fear that I have towards presentations, I am going to overcome it, and I'm going to stand or sit like I'm doing right now and see what I have to say. And because I have passion for personal finance and the fact that I love it when people have their finances in check and they know what to do about their finances, so I said I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel and continue to speak about personal finance, and that's why I'm here today, and that's why this channel is here today. And I just hope that I keep going and I have the courage to keep going. I'm going to tell you a story. I told you that I'm a storyteller, and this story is not about me. So this story is about the owner, the founder of KFC, that's Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's Colonel Alan David Sanders. Yes. And this man, I want you to know how spectacular his story is the fact that the first franchise of KFC didn't take off until it was about 64. It was in the 60s when they started the first franchise of KFC. Now imagine if, fine, he got a fantastic recipe for this chicken, 11 herbs and spices that he mixed together. Imagine if he only shared this with his immediate family. I'm sure by now we would not have the fantastic KFC that we have in the world right now. Right now there are over 20,000 locations, KFC locations all around the world. And even though this man is not alive today, his legacy lives beyond him, and that's because he decided to live beyond himself. He decided to give beyond his immediate family. So what is it that you have and you are just keeping to yourself? Don't be selfish. Yes, share it with the world. Whatever it is that God has placed in your hand, if you don't do it, see, the regret of having not tried is more than the regret of having tried and probably what's the worst that could happen? Okay, so you fail at it and you would have learned one other way of how not to do that particular assignment. So what is the worst that could happen if you decide to put yourself out there and do what you've always wanted to do? What is the worst that would happen if you take your audience from the person in the mirror and then you take it out there to the people that need to hear you, to the people that need the service that you have to offer, to the people that need you? Someone somewhere needs what you have to offer, and if you do not put yourself out there, you are not going to get across to these people and they are not going to be able to hear you. So today, this is my challenge to you. Just do it. Do it. Start out. It doesn't have to be perfect at the first attempt. You will get better with time. You're going to learn to do this presentation thing better. Like I tell myself, I'm going to get better with time. I'm just going to keep at it. And that's the same thing I'm telling you today, that you keep at it. Whatever it is that you're still hesitating and you're still telling yourself that I'm not sure I'm ready to take this on, take it on. This is your reminder to actually put this to action and get doing, get working. And then at the end of this year, it might not even be this year, it might be in the next 5-10 years, I want you to look back at this time and then you remember that you just have this gratitude in you that you actually started you actually started this assignment that God will have you do. Trust me, if it is God that is putting this in your mind, He's going to back you up. He's going to provide the resources. He's going to provide everything that you need to follow through in this assignment. So this life is beyond you. Don't think that all you have to do is go to work and come home to your family. There is a lot that you can do with your life. There is a lot that you are supposed to be doing. So do not be afraid to set the bowl as sail. The finest sailors are even made while the storm is so big. So that is why you should not be afraid of challenges or anything that you might face. Just yesterday, I'm shooting this video on the 9th of April. So on the 8th of April was when Israel Adesanya is the UFC champion now, had the fight with Alex, and you would see that this man had fought with this same Alex 3 times and lost. And I saw a Twitter person wrote something, someone on Twitter wrote something and said that the mental courage that you have to still go ahead with that fight, considering that you've lost 3 times, yeah, it's something that should be emulated. The fact that he didn't give up until he achieved that goal and he won that match on the 2nd round. I'm encouraged, I'm inspired by him, and I hope that also inspires you to go out there and challenge yourself. See, he also said something. He said that he would want everybody to feel the happiness that he is feeling at that particular point in time, but he knows that for you to feel that sort of happiness, you have to go out there. Like, you have to bring yourself out there and do something that is beyond you. What is that thing that you have to do that is beyond you? Nothing great comes out of comfort zones. So you need to take yourself out from that comfort zone. Just do it. Thank you so much for joining my channel. It's always great being here and just talking and talking and talking. So have a great one. Bye, people.